Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court update on 28th of May 2025. The court has ordered the masked witness to mount the witness box for cross-examination. Recall that the defense team closed their business with the second masked witness, and today was scheduled for cross-examination of the third witness. The prosecuting counsel presented a presumed written statement and video interview of the defendant, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for confirmation. The third witness took a close view and confirmed it was authentic of the defendant, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for confirmation. The third witness took a close view and confirmed it was authentic. The statement was submitted to the court. The defending counsel picks up the written statement, video interview of the defendant gotten via jurors and read to the court as ordered by the judge. The contents of the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's counter-written statement. I asked for my legal representatives, but the DSS and Mr. Brown at that time, 2015, refused. I was in their custody and was given only an hour to write my statement. In fact, Mr. Brown threatened that if I don't write what they wish, my statement. In fact, Mr. Brown threatened that if I don't write what they wish and follow their guidelines, I will be forced to stop writing. The prosecuting counsel interrupts and says Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was lying. He wrote his statement voluntarily, not under duress. The presiding judge writes and gives a ruling. According to the judge, there will be a trial within a trial, and they must look into the allegations made by the defendant concerning being forced to make both written and video statements. The trial kickstarts as ruled by the judge following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's counter letter. Prosecuting counsel. Do you know anyone called Mr. Brown? Third masked witness. I am not sure. I conducted the interview with Mr. James, Ibrahim, and Collins, not Mr. Brown. Prosecuting counsel. Did the defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at any time make any request to you before you took his statement? Third masked witness. He did not make any request except asking us to let him have some rest. Prosecuting counsel. Did he demand for the presence of his lawyer? Third masked witness. I am not aware of such a request, but to the best of my knowledge, he did not. Prosecuting counsel. He said he was put in solitary confinement, right? Third masked witness. I am not aware. If you watch my video interview with him, there is a table before him, so I'm surprised he made such allegation. Prosecuting counsel. Did he mention his health condition to you? Third masked witness. I am not a medical doctor, so I can't tell if he was sick, but to answer your question, he never mentioned being sick. Prosecuting counsel. He claimed you forced him to make statements under duress. Third masked witness. Lies. It's not true. All he wrote was voluntarily done, and he was incited. Prosecuting counsel. He said you told him some things to write about former President Jonathan. Third masked witness. It is not true. 10 minutes break has been exhausted and court resumes trial. The video evidence where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the defendant, was interviewed by DSS without any of his legal representatives is playing on the screen in court. Note, the DSS is trying to prove that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made his statements voluntarily, even without his lawyer. The contents of the first video played by the prosecution airs the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying, "You DSS agents are the custodians of law, but still breaks the law." Mazi Nnamdi Kanu continues in the video. "This is the third time I am making statements without any of my legal representatives. The law says I am entitled to a lawyer, but you have consistently denied me one. Record me and let the world hear it that I am making yet another statement without my lawyer. Even if you point a gun at me, I will still say the truth. I was the first person to organize a rally against Boko Haram in London. You have denied me access to my lawyer. The second video presented by the prosecution is currently playing. DSS, how are you? Defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I am not fine. DSS, what is IPOB? Defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is the acronym. Defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is the acronym for Indigenous People of Biafra. DSS, what is the duty of IPOB? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the defendant. He explained the role and duty of IPOB to the Biafran people. He went further to point out Biafran region and clearly stated no region is forced to join the IPOB. Is still playing and taking the world and taking the whole of the day for other court business. Obviously, a well-orchestrated application of delayed titles but countered by the presiding judge. At the conclusion of second video evidence, the presiding judge verbally stated his observation in his words. I heard the defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu repeatedly complain in that video. None of his legal representative was present during the interview, and he needed to speak to his lawyer. I will thoroughly look into that and his insistence. I will thoroughly look into that and his insistence of making statements on duress. There must be a ruling for that. The third video, marked as an exhibit, has just ended. The fourth video has just ended, and what the presiding judge tagged trial within trial kickstarts. This process will commence with a cross-examination section conducted by the defending counsel. Recall, we are currently on the third masked witness. Cross-examination of the third masked witness commences. Defending counsel, I observed all through your video evidence that the interview did not show the face of the interviewers. Why that? Third masked witness, we are protected by the law. Defending counsel, did you introduce yourselves to the defendant before the interview? Did you tell him your real names? Third masked witness, yes, I introduced myself and I mentioned my name to him. Defending counsel, do you know the names of everyone working in DSS agency? Defending counsel, third masked witness, no. Defending counsel, did you ever enter the cell or where the defendant was confined? Third masked witness, no. Defendant counsel, do you have underground cells in DSS space? Third masked witness, I don't know. Defending counsel, are you aware that so many people detained in your custody have announced that they were kept in an underground cell? Third masked witness, I am just hearing this for the first time. Defending counsel, did you hear when Citizen Sorowe said when he was detained in an underground cell? Third masked witness, anybody can say anything to gain public sympathy. Defending counsel, are you aware the defendant was held in an underground cell? Third masked witness, I am not aware. It cannot be true. Defending counsel, do you notice your people were forcing the defendant on what to write? Third masked witness, we did not force him, but was just trying to guide him. Defending counsel, did you observe he wore the same shirt every day for the interview? Third masked witness, yes, I did observe. Defending counsel, did you notice how excited he was when he asked for water? Defending counsel, I did not notice. Third masked witness, I did not notice. Defending counsel, did you know someone called Mr. Brown threatening him? Third masked witness, I don't know about that. The trial within trial just ended with a mini cross-examination of the third masked witness as instructed by the judge. Remember, The judge said he would thoroughly look into the defendant's stance on forceful derivation of evidence by the DSS in 2015 without any of his legal representatives. Right now, the judge has demanded both Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, defendant, and the defense team have a proper and in-depth legal conversation before the resumption of the trial. As this report is being filed, there is a close, rigorous, and intensive discussions going on between IPOB leader and his defense team. After an intense and extensive discussion between the defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his legal representatives, he has been declared ready for cross-examination. Right now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has moved to the witness box for cross-examination. Now, cross-examination of the defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This time, he gets to be cross-examined by his defendant counsel. If I have a letter to deliver to you, where would it be? Defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS dungeon. Defendant counsel. How long have you been in DSS custody? Defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I have been in DSS dungeon for 6 years. Defendant counsel. You mentioned to the court today that your statement was forcefully derived under duress. Am I right? Am I correct? Defendant Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, yes, it was under duress and done in absence of my legal representatives. More so, I was brutally tortured, spat on, injured, and blindfolded before they brought me to Abuja from Lagos. Mr. Brown, the brutal DSS agent, who acted as an interviewer, threatened me while I was bleeding from the nose to write as ordered because he had the power to make sure I was jailed. This very DSS forced me into an underground dark torturous cell and prohibited me from coming in contact with anyone. I bled from my nose and the trail of the blood kept and the trail of the voice kept following me. It got so bad that they invited a doctor who demanded I should be given an hour break for my life's sake. The video evidence played here today was intensively edited. In fact, they removed the part where Mr. Brown threatened me to write as ordered. They never allowed my legal counsel to come visiting until I was transferred to Kuje prison. The defendant counsel's son, Paul Oroko, has ended the cross-examination of the defendant and the prosecution commenced his question section. Mind you, this is still on trial within trial, not the murder case. Prosecuting counsel. Was your detention approved by a court? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. No court approved my detention. Prosecuting counsel. When you gave the DSS your name and contact of your lawyer, did they come? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. DSS never asked for the names and contacts of my legal representatives. The prosecution has ended his cross-examination section. Nothing to ask. Finally, following the cross-examination conducted by both the defending and the prosecuting counsels, the trial within trial session comes to a conclusion. The matter has been adjourned to 29th of May 2025 for continuation of trial. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment.